Hey everyone, Michelle here. In our first video, I'm going to teach you cubic right angle weave. And as you can see, this is going to be the foundation for us to learn the left hand and right hand 90-degree turn, the three-way intersection and the four-way intersection. And what you're going to need is size 11 seed beads, 3mm rondelles, and size 15 seed beads, and of course a beading needle and some thread. What we're going to do is we're going to start by picking up a rondelle and 3 seed beads. I'm going to bring that down, and I like to leave a little bit of a tail, about 5-6 inches, so I can weave it back into my piece. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the rondelle, and we're going to pull, and your work should look like this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up a seed bead, a rondelle, and a seed bead, and we're going to go back through our rondelle just like that. And now your work should look like that. Almost looks like a little race car. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go through this rondelle here, and we're going to pick up 2 seed beads. And now we're going to go through this seed bead and this seed bead, just like that. And your work should now look like this. We're going to go through our next seed bead, and we're going to pick up 2 seed beads, and we're going to go through this seed bead and this seed bead, just like that. We're going to pull. Now your work should look like this. And we're going to go through our next seed bead, and now, here's the toughest part. And I know it doesn't look like a cube, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to point with my needle what our thread path is going to be, like where we're going to be going, just so you can visually see it. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to not pick up a bead. I'm going to go through this seed bead right here. Then I'm going to pick up a bead. I'm going to go down this seed bead here. I'm going to come back through the seed bead where our thread is currently exiting. I'm going to come up this seed bead and out this rondelle. So we're going to, in essence, make a loop. And I'm not going to pull this tight just because I want you to see the thread path. And once we've gone through all our beads, then we'll pull tight. And this is the easiest way that I've tried showing people how to do cubic right angle weave, because if we fold it up now, it's just going to be too difficult, but at least this way you can see. So now I'm going to go up through this seed bead here, okay, and like I said, I'm not going to pull tight. I'm going to leave it just loose so you can see the thread path. Okay, I'm going to pick up a seed bead. I'm going to come down this seed bead right here, back through this seed bead, and up through here. So I'm going to do just like that. I'll just go through those two. And you can see we're going to come up this seed bead here, and then let's go out the rondelle, just like that. And now, so you can see we kind of made a loop. And now you're going to take both pieces of thread and you're going to pull. And when you hold it like this, you've done it correctly. And you know you've done it correctly is when you look at it head on. Oops. When you look at it head on, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 seed bead holes looking at you, and the rondelle, and 1, 2, 3 look like a little paw print. And that's how you know you did it correctly. And as you can see, we have 1 unit, but 2 rondelles. You always want to exit the rondelle anytime you're doing this type of cubic right angle weave when you're working with rondelles. And that's how you can always tell that you've done it correctly. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create another unit. And we're going to do the same exact thing that we did in the first one. We're going to pick up a seed bead, a rondelle, and a seed bead, and we're going to go back through our rondelle, just like that. Oops. Sorry, I had to adjust my thread. So just like that, we're going to go through the next seed bead. Now you can see it's starting to stand up a little bit on its own. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, and I'm going to go through this seed bead and this seed bead. So those 2. And I'm going to go through the next seed bead. So as you can see, your ceiling is now becoming the floor of your next round. We're going to pick up 2 seed beads, and we're going to go through this seed bead and this seed bead. And we're going to go through our next seed bead. And so here, what we're going to do is we're going to do that round again. So we're going to go through our next seed bead. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to fold up now on its own. We're going to go up this wall because we need to get to the ceiling. Okay, we're going to pick up a seed bead. We're going to come down this wall here. If I can get it, I'm going to come down this wall here. Just like that. We're going to come across. We're going to come up the wall and out our rondelle. And now you've just made your second one, technically third, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. Let's do a couple more just to make sure you've got it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back, we're going to pick up a seed bead, a rondelle, and a seed bead. We're going to go through the rondelle, and we're going to go through our next seed bead. We're going to pick up 2 seed beads. I'm going to go through this seed bead and this seed bead. Oops. Mind your thread. And then we're going to go through our next bead. We're going to pick up 2 seed beads. And I'm going to go through this seed bead and this seed bead. And then we're going to go through our next seed bead. Now we need to add our roof. So we're going to go climb up the wall here. We're going to add a seed bead. We're going to come down here on the other side. We're going to come across. So technically, what you're looking to do is to create this diamond-shaped pattern. We're going to come up this wall here, and we're going to come out the rondelle. Just like that. So why don't you go ahead, add the rest of your rondelles. We'll do a total of 10. And when you are done, come back and I will show you how to add these lovely little accent beads. See you shortly. Okay, so we now have gone ahead and added the rest of our rondelles, and now it's time to add the size 15 accent beads. So your thread should be exiting the rondelle, and this is really easy peasy. Just pick up a size 15, you go through this seed bead right here, and as you noticed, if we turn it on its side, you can see they have what's called, well, what I call mountain and valleys. You can see the little mountains and then the little valleys in between the mountains. And this is a great stitch too, because this also sets you up for peyote stitch. So you can expand on the cubic right angle weave that you have here, but we're not gonna worry about that. So what you're gonna do is pick up a 15 and go through the next seed bead. You can see the 15 sits right there in that little valley. Pick up a 15, go through the next one, and it works up pretty quick. And the other thing you want to be careful about too is as we're pulling, you can see it's slightly curling up a little bit, and that's only because of the 15s. Since they're smaller than the size 11s, they'll want to pull together. Okay, and now that we've reached our ends, you're probably wondering, well, what do you do now? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick up a 15 and we're going to go through the rondelle. And now that we've gone through that rondelle, we're going to pick up another 15 and we're going to come through this 15 on the other side. Cross the river to get to the other mountains. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pick up our 15 and continue going down until we reach here. And now that we've reached the end, we're going to add our final rondelle and we'll just come back through here. And pat yourself on the back for learning cubic right angle weave with rondelles and some pretty accent beads.